And we're joined now by Congressman Pete Aguilar of California, who led the questioning in today's hearing. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You revealed during your questioning of one witness that the rioters came within 40 feet of former Vice President Pence on January 6th. Why is it important for the committee to spend a full day of hearings focused almost entirely on the former Vice President's role and the potential danger that he faced that day?
Well, thanks for having me, Lindsay. It's important to note that this was the culmination of a strategy that Donald Trump undertook. But specific to January 6th, this was a pressure campaign that started with a very tense phone call that they had, and then ultimately, ending with the former vice president in a secure, undisclosed location on the Capitol complex here. And you saw pictures of that, exclusive pictures that were released with the National Archives. But it's important to note, 40 feet as he was being evacuated, the mob had been told to go to the Capitol. The president had lit the flame and told everyone with that 2:24 p.m. tweet that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what was necessary. He was clearly trying to tell everyone that Mike Pence was the one to blame.
And today the committee praised Pence for doing his constitutional duty on January 6th, but the former vice president did not speak publicly before that day to make it clear that he did not have the power to overturn the election results. And during today's hearing, Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn tweeted this. He said, "When the hell did we get to a place where doing what is right is considered courageous?" Curious to know if you feel that the former vice president could have done more to stop the false narrative and beliefs of Trump followers before they actually attacked the Capitol.
Well, I think Mike Pence stood behind Donald Trump during a lot of time when I would oppose the policies that they advocated. But I think it's important, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to tell the truth, that, we need to remind folks that he did his job that day. He acted presidential. He was down underneath in that undisclosed location, and he was acting presidential, calling the acting Secretary of Defense, calling congressional leaders. He was doing the job. While I'm frustrated with policies of the Trump-Pence administration, I think it's important to be honest about his role that day.
We heard that message at the end of today's hearing from former federal judge J. Michael Luttig that Trump and his allies are a, quote, clear and present danger to democracy. And he also added this.
The former president and his allies are executing that blueprint for 2024 in open and plain view of the American public.
Explain what you feel he meant by that, and if the committee's future hearings might seek to go beyond the events of January 6th to the potential danger posed to our elections going forward.
Well, this is about protecting democracy. That's what the committee is looking at. So we are not confined to January 6th. We've been talking about leading up to January 6th, but this is about the importance of protecting democracy. But it's also our task and responsibility to talk about legislative proposals and suggestions that would help us do that. And so at future hearings, we may talk about that. It will definitely be a component of the report that is ultimately released. But clearly there are things that we can do to protect democracy. And our witnesses talked about the Electoral Count Act and maybe some revisions that we need to make to that act.
Let's talk about Ginny Thomas. There's been some reporting in recent weeks that the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, she was putting pressure on state officials. Chairman Thompson said today that the committee would invite testimony from Ginny Thomas. Any insight that you might be able to provide us as far as whether a formal request might be made and if such testimony would be in public or private?
Well, I believe the chairman and the vice chair indicated that they would be, requesting discussions with Ginny Thomas. All I can say is that, we are encouraging anyone to come forward and to share what they know about January 6th. And so it should surprise anyone if people receive letters. We feel that they have information that could be helpful in our investigation. We've sent letters to some of our colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle. because they clearly have information that could be helpful to the investigation. But that's what we're going to do. That's our responsibility and our mandate. We take it seriously, and so we will on occasion reach out to individuals who we think can offer us information.
Based on what we think that we know about her involvement as far as sending text messages, having open conversations, do you feel that she's someone that you should hear from?
Well, I'll just say, I'm not going to talk about specific, witnesses and people who we should talk to. But I will say, again, more broadly, if people have information, they should share it. They should be willing to share it. This was a violent attack and an assault on democracy and the temple of democracy that's the United States Capitol over here in D.C. And I just can't for the life of me understand why people wouldn't want to come forward and to help, preserve this and ensure that this never happens again.
Congressman Aguilar, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate your insight.
Thanks, Linsey.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.